Uncle Henry Show here on News Radio 710 WNTM. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. I want to welcome to the Uncle Henry Show radio microphones for the first time. But he's been on with me on the internet before. Welcome to the Uncle Henry Show, Red, from Red and the Revelers. Red, thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Red of Red and the Revelers. Now, you're doing a tour on local media. You're going to be on another radio station tomorrow. You're going to be on Studio 10 tomorrow.
That's right.
And this is because what do you have happening?
Well, tomorrow night at Soul Kitchen, we are celebrating the release of our brand new album, our sophomore effort, Real Big Deal. We're bringing it out on vinyl. We're doing a big vinyl release party at the Soul Kitchen tomorrow. We have the John Hall Band opening up for us and Hey Dreamer out of Atlanta. We're going big, and we're going to go strong, and we're going to be fierce.
Now, Red, what is the name of the new album again?
It is Real Big Deal.
Real Big Deal. Mm-hmm. Red and the Revelers. So I've got listeners that are not aware of you. They didn't see you on the internet show when you were with me. Explain your sound to the listeners.
I called our sound Swamp Soul. I had a lot of people who were like, man, we can't place you. You know, we can't put you in the rock. We can't put you in blues. We can't put you in country. And I said, that's because you're not meant to, you know. The best I've heard it described is we are a gumbo of sound. All those ingredients coming together to make this unique dish that your ears just have to try, you know.
But you called it Swamp Soul.
That's right. It's dirty, and I love soul music.
Okay.
I sing soul music. That's where the singing, the soul part comes in, is the way I sing and stuff. And it just has a nice ring to it, doesn't it?
It does.
Soul.
It fits where we are in our country.
Yeah.
So, I mean geographically.
Yeah.
Geographically, we have exactly. Swampy areas. Mm-hmm. In fact, this radio station, this area used to be Rag Swamp before they started building things here. So Red of Red and the Revelers. Now, one of the things I love about Red and the Revelers, you have a horn section.
We do. We got
now,
that is,
you don't run into a lot of local bands with horn sections.
No, you don't. As a matter of fact, I think we were probably the first one to have a full horn section, like in Mobile. That was in like the main scene. You know, there wasn't a lot of horns weren't being used. They were really kind of like an auxiliary instrument that would just be used every now and then. And I grew up on James Brown, on Wilson Pickett, Otis Redding, people like that, where the horns were like a main factor, especially in like James Brown music, stuff like that. And so that's what I really wanted, was I wanted something where it was horn driven, you know, and it had that as a forefront to bring that back, and it's really worked for us.
Horn driven. You know, one of the best concerts I've ever seen in my life was Robert Cray with the Memphis Horns. He had the Memphis Horns with him in Pensacola. And they, to me, stole the show. I mean, they're just magnificent to see. I love any band with a horn section there. So, now was that your dream when you started out? Mm-hmm. What did you envision when you were putting a band together? What was your initial vision for a band?
So I started off solo, and then I decided I wanted to do the full band, and I really knew that I wanted a full horn section. You know, when I was writing my songs, I wrote that with the horn section in mind, you know, to carry a lot of the melodies, to carry a lot of the hooks and stuff. But when I first started off, the idea was it would be me, and then the Revelers would be like a rotating cast of some of the best musicians in Mobile. I really wanted to make a band that was indicative of the area, that you know, was captured the spirit and the history of Mobile. And you know, I ended up realizing that wasn't going to work.
Okay.
So then I went to a full lineup, you know, and we've had a couple drum changes and stuff like that. People have moved and stuff, but you know, the whole essence of the band is that, you know, I base it off of, you know, Mobile's been flown under 6 different flags,
right?
You know, and so there's all this culture that's mashed together that makes Mobile this special, unique place that doesn't exist anywhere else in the world. And that's what I wanted us to catch, that feeling. And that's why you get so much, you know, you'll hear country, you'll hear blues, you'll hear soul, you'll hear punk rock, you'll hear metal in our music, and it's all these different stuff coming together to create a gumbo, I have, if you will, to borrow from the term that somebody used for us, to make like this representation of what I feel like a Mobile sound should be like.
Now, how long has Red and the Revelers been a thing?
Our first show, official show as Red and the Revelers, was April 20th, 2019.
Okay.
So that's what? That's
7 years.
7 years it's been going on. So it'll be 7 years on April 20th. So, we've accomplished a lot in 7 years, and I'm very proud of that.
So how many of the original Revelers are still reveling with you?
The majority of the band has been with me from the beginning.
How about that?
So we've placed 2 drummers. One moved, and then one had to have surgery, and he wasn't able to really keep up with the schedule and stuff. And so, but other than that, we really, we've had fill-in players come with us on the road and stuff, because that happens. You have 8 people, not everybody can make it, all the time.
Yes.
So I have fill-in players and stuff like that.
Your band has got 8 people in it?
It's got 9 now. My wife started singing with us too. So
see, I was looking at a picture and I was counting, because I kept thinking he's got a horn section. They've got to split all that money up. They've got to split all that money up. How does he got this band? But you now have 9 in the band.
We do. And that was one of the things when I first started. A lot of people told me, they were like, you won't be able to do this. Like, there's no way. People aren't going to play, and I went out and I found guys that are fantastic. My guys are monsters. They're just monsters. But, a lot of them were overlooked at the time. They were newer to the scene, so people weren't, using them as much. And I met a lot of them through open mics and stuff like that. And, I've always had an ear for music and an eye for talent, so I try to, to pick them up, and they believed in what we do. And I think that's the big thing about a band. If you're going to have a band, you have to have members that believe in the music that you're playing. Mm-hmm. And we believed in creating something bigger than ourselves, and we knew the money would come, and it has. We're doing fine now, and we're growing. So
okay, all right, we're going to talk a lot more about this and more about your new album. But we're going to have to take a break for news and traffic and all that kind of stuff here on News Radio 710 WNTM. Before we go to break, where can people find Red and the Revelers so they can sample it? I know that you're on YouTube. You've got plenty of videos on YouTube.
We have a great YouTube series from Studio Amped that we did in Pensacola. It's a full TV show that you can see what we look like live. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify. We're on Spotify. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. It's all Red and the Revelers. It's very easy to look up.
Now, is the new album also streaming yet? Or?
It will be on April 25th.
April 25th.
The vinyl comes out tomorrow, and you can order that through our Bandcamp, redandtherevelers.bandcamp.com. But if you want to wait till streaming, the streaming will come out April 25th.
Okay, look up Red and the Revelers on Spotify. Look them up on YouTube. Watch that, listen to that horn section. Back with more from Red, of Red and the Revelers after the news break as the Uncle Henry Show continues here on WNTM.
Time saver traffic from the Main Street Flooring and Design.com traffic center.
Crews have moved an accident out of the roadway to the right shoulder on I-10 westbound between I-110 and Pensacola Boulevard. Still have an accident on Lillian Highway at Stafford Lane. Very slow on the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road. It's a 24-minute drive. With Time Saver Traffic, I'm Lisa Baque.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster.com. If you've priced custom blinds at a retail store, you know how expensive they can be. At Blindster, we do things differently. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News. A jury found Darius Lucky Jr. guilty of capital murder in the 2023 drive-by shooting that killed 9-year-old Kaylee Knight of Mobile. Prosecutors say gunfire tore into a home on Rhett Drive, and Kaylee was hit while sleeping on a couch. A sentencing hearing is set for May 21st, and because it's a capital murder conviction, the only possible sentence is life in prison without parole. 2 co-defendants already took plea deals, and 2 others still face trial. A man in Mobile is behind bars after a sheriff's office undercover operation ended with a chase and a crash. Jail records show James Russell is facing several charges, including fentanyl trafficking. Investigators say they tried to pull him over after spotting traffic violations, but he took off and threw drugs out the window during a chase. Deputies say the chase ended near Hall's Mill and Rangeline when he hit another car. The other driver is expected to be okay. Investigators say they recovered the drugs and then served a search warrant at Russell's home, where they say they found more trafficking quantities of cocaine and fentanyl. In Baldwin County, leaders met with neighbors for the 2nd annual State of the Cities event in Robertsdale. Mayors from Silver Hill, Loxley, Robertsdale, and Somerdale shared updates on growth, development, and planning, aimed at helping neighbors connect directly with city leadership as the county continues to grow. I'm Cameron Taylor with Fox 10 News on this iHeartRadio station.
This is News Radio 710, WNTM.
Fox News, I'm John Saucier. We got a surprise announcement from the First Lady, Melania Trump, today, pushing back against claims she had any connections to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein.
Democrats, meanwhile, criticizing her husband, President Donald Trump, and his military action in Iran despite a 2-week ceasefire. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries calling on Republicans to vote with them in an effort to limit the president's ability to call in strikes against Iran.
We only need a handful of Republicans, like Mike Lawler, Nicole Maliotakis, or others, to join House Democrats so we can end the madness now.
Could be a War Powers resolution vote in the Senate next week. America's listening to Fox News.
Hey, Uncle Henry here with 2 people who know a thing or two about financial stability. Meet John McNeil and Virginia O'Brien with Mobile Bay Financial Solutions.
Hi, I'm John. In today's unpredictable economy, staying informed is essential.
And I'm Virginia. We will help you make smart decisions, even when the market feels uncertain.
Our strategies evolve with inflation, market shifts, and policy changes, so you don't have to worry. From retirement planning to legacy planning, we offer more than investment advice.
We help you manage emotional discussions with clarity and confidence. Let's talk about your goals and where we can help. Call us today at 251-666-5000. That's 666-5000.
Mobile Bay Financial Solutions, navigating what's next together.
Advisory services offered through Mobile Bay Financial Services, LLC, an Alabama-registered investment advisor. We can offer investment advice in states where we are registered, exempt, or excluded from registration. The material contained herein should not be construed as an offer or solicitation for investment advice, securities, insurance, or other investment products.
All right, folks. As we approach Liberty Island, you'll see the iconic Statue of Liberty, standing tall at over 300 feet. The torch in her hand symbolizes a beacon of hope that's held up by her very wavy arm.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. It's proven to slow GA progression and could preserve your remaining vision for longer, so you can keep seeing the world around you. Don't take Izervay if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't wait for your vision changes to progress. Ask your retina specialist about Izervay today. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Sunday, April 19th, head to the garage for the Ben Walls Memorial Jam, a full day of music, community, and giving back. Doors open at noon with a $10 donation. Enjoy live music, live and silent auctions, and raffles throughout the day, all to support local cancer patient Sheridan Hinton in her fight. Come out, have fun, and support a great cause. Details at benwallsmemorialjam.com. Sunday, April 19th at the garage. See you there.
Pool and Spa Superstore is celebrating their new location with a grand reopening and great deals to help you get your pool ready for warmer weather. Just go west on Cottage Hill and take a right on Dawes Road. Pool and Spa Superstore.
Why pinch pennies when you can save dollars at Pool and Spa Superstore?
This is News Radio 710, WNTM.
This is the Uncle Henry Show on News Radio 710 WNTM. My guest in studio, Red, of Red and the Revelers. There's too many Revelers, I think, to have them all on the show.
There is. That's usually why I do this by myself.
Now, up to 9 members, because the wife is starting to sing. Now, did you have to? Was that a political thing? I mean, was that difficult? Did you have to talk the other Revelers into this?
So she had sang a couple songs with us before, and then we'd go play places, and I'd have a bunch of people come up and be like, "Is your wife going to sing with you all tonight?"
Oh,
and I'd be like, "No, she's not here." And they'd be like, "Oh, I'm so disappointed." And I'd be like, "Okay, well,
really,
yeah." And I'm the type of person that like I don't let ego get in the way. There's no time for ego, And if the audience is asking for something, then I'm gonna give the audience what they want, And they wanted to hear more of my wife, and I love singing with her, and so it gave a time for me to kind of explore songwriting. We're writing some new originals where we do some duets together and stuff like that, and so it's been great.
Now, for people that did not hear the first segment that you were here, tell the listener you've got a brand new album coming out, and you're having a big, I guess, an album release party tomorrow at Soul Kitchen.
That's right, we sure are. We're heading down to the Soul Kitchen. 92 Zoo has been so great to like make it a 92 Zoo Presents show for us. We partnered with some local businesses around Mobile, Tommy's VIP Tours, Gamers and Geeks, and the Gulf Coast Alabama Pool Association donated money to help us put on this show and help us with advertisement and stuff for it. And we're really wanted to do it real big because it's a real big deal. And
Gamers and Geeks with Scotty White.
Yes, as a matter of fact, Scotty is the one. Scotty's a good friend of mine, and I know he's a good friend of yours.
He
too.
is. I need to get him back on the Uncle Henry show. So tomorrow, when does everything start at Soul Kitchen?
So the doors are at 7:00, and the show will start at 8. With Hey Dreamer going on first, and then the John Hall Band, and then us. If you want tickets, you can get them on soulkitchenmobile.com. I would recommend doing that because they seem to be going pretty quick.
Hey, congratulations,
thank you. And I don't always rely for them to be at the door, even though Mobile is very much a wait to pay at the door city.
Yes.
But they're really, our fans are really stepping up for us and showing us that they care, and that's really awesome.
Okay, the new album is Real Big Deal. Did I remember it correctly? Real Big Deal.
Real Big Deal, baby.
Now, tell me about the album. What can we expect from this album?
Well, if you've ever seen us live, you've heard a lot of these songs. And, we started recording this album with a man named Will Turpin. And he's a founding member of the band Collective Soul from the 90s.
Okay.
And they played at the Civic Center back when it was still around. And after their show, they came and found us at Brickyard. And on our break, he said, "I have to record y'all."
Really? Yeah, that's how that happened?
That's how that happened. The old story of getting found by somebody. And so, we went up to Atlanta to their studio, Real to Real Studios, which Will's father used to own, and where their first album was cut and everything like that. And then he and another guy named Brian Collins, who's actually come down here and done music quite a bit, and they too just really took our sound and elevated it to another level, and just really made it to where we could. I hate to use the word compete because music is, but it's a business.
It is.
But to compete with people that are on the radio, we sound like we belong on the radio now, and we do. And but
and it's you say this to me, it's so the idea, and once again back to horns. There are so many. You just don't hear horns as often as you used to, and that adds such a fullness to what you do.
It does, and even songs that are on the radio that have horns in them, if you listen to the majority of them, they're always just kind of in the background.
Exactly,
they're fill-ins, and I really did not want that with this album. I didn't want anything to feel like that was filled in, and it doesn't. It's very. I mean, when you start that album, it's going to be all gas, no brakes. Except for one song that's our slower song on there. But, I mean, it's 35 minutes of get up and go,
Okay. Now, that's tomorrow night at Soul Kitchen to go see the album release party. Are you going to have copies of the vinyl there that people can buy?
As a matter of fact, if you want to, you can. We have a limited amount of special edition red vinyls that we printed up. There's only 100 of them, or 80 of them actually, and those are $40. And then the regular black vinyls are $30. If you want to, you can go on redandtherevelers.bandcamp.com. You can pre-order those and reserve them. And there's a section that says local pickup. One of them says local pickup. And if you're coming to the show, you can pick it up at the show, or you can just grab one at the show there. We'll have plenty. And we'll have T-shirts and everything else like that too.
So, Red, you told me that the Red and the Revelers started in 2019, 7 years ago in Mobile. Praise some people. Who are some people or venues that really helped out in the first couple of years that helped you really develop?
Yeah,
Who are some people you want to praise?
First person I want to shout out is my buddy Abe Partridge. I'm sure you're familiar with Abe.
Yeah, he was on the Unclaimed Show a couple of times.
Yeah, Abe, when I first started, I met Abe, and I did a big faux pas where I just sent him random songs that I had written. I found out later that's kind of a faux pas.
Yes.
But luckily he liked him, and he really kind of took a liking to me. We're the same age, really. And so, we became friends, and he really kind of mentored me on how to get into this like original music, not just be a working band, but trying to promote myself and grow an audience. And, him and Eric Erdman and people like that really just were really welcoming to me, and really helped me save myself what I feel like is years of time of just floundering around trying to figure stuff out.
Hey, let me interrupt just to ask, because you want to do the original music.
Yeah.
A lot of people want the familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing Eric Erdman years ago playing all covers, and he's transitioned into being this great songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
How do you do, when you're starting out, how do you do that? How do you approach original stuff versus cover songs?
Well, that was, so for me, because I dealt with Abe. Abe is unique.
Super original.
Abe, and his music is unique, but like him as like a working artist is very unique in the sense that Abe has never played a show with covers. He's only ever played original music. And it works for him. That works for him. Bands like my size, we get a lot of gigs that are like 3 and 4 hours long, when you're first starting off. And so you got to have an arsenal of covers. But how I approach that is I don't look at it as if like a working band where I have to learn a ton of songs. I learn the songs that I want to learn, and then I do them in the way that I want to do them. I don't ever do a song straight.
But that's how, I'm sure the audience likes that.
And we have a lot of our our cover songs that we've considered recording just because they're, we do one of Creep by Radiohead, but it's a completely different arrangement than the original, and so that's what I like to do is put my own touch on things. And I don't mind playing covers. It's not something that like when we go to a concert, when we first come on stage, it's originals. That's what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll sprinkle some covers in, or we'll do like a full original set and then come back and do what I call a party set, where we play all the songs everybody wants to hear, and stuff like that. But the advice that Abe gave me was, if you want to do original music, then you have to play original music. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in this loop of people thinking that you're just a cover band.
Right.
And so the thing is, and then he goes, if you believe in your music and you're proud of it, then why wouldn't you play it? I feel that like my songwriting is just as good as anybody else's, and I feel like our songs are great. And if I truly believe that, then I'm not going to hold those back. That's what I'm going to present to you. Covers are great, but I didn't write that. I want to share something with you that's me. That's my soul.
All right, we're going to take a time out and come back with our final moments with Red from Red and the Revelers. Look them up on YouTube. Look them up on Spotify. Go see them tomorrow night at Soul Kitchen. Tickets available at soulkitchenmobile.com. Back with more our final moments with Red of Red and the Revelers coming up after the break.
And crews are on the scene of an accident, Government Street at Washington Avenue. We also have an accident, Airport Boulevard at Cody Road. Heavy congestion on the Bayway eastbound from I-65 to the Eastern Shore. It's a 29-minute drive. Delays begin near South Broad getting into the tunnel. On the Foley Beach Express from Highway 59 to Canal Road, it's a 25-minute drive.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle from Blindster.com. If you've priced custom blinds at a retail store, you know how expensive they can be. At Blindster, we do things differently. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
If you see traffic trouble, call the Acadian Windows traffic tip line at pound 250, keyword total traffic when prompted. Acadian Windows, your hurricane protection specialists.
Hey, Uncle Henry here, and if it's your dream to own a boat, do what so many Mobile County people do. Go see my friends at Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union. They finance new and pre-owned boats with up to 100% financing. Terms up to 5 years for lower payments, no application fee, and fast local answers. You can apply now at GulfCoastFCU.org. Call 251-438-7464 or stop by a branch. Loans subject to approval. That's Gulf Coast Federal Credit Union.
At Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center, our board-certified dermatologists are here to help you look and feel your best. From advanced laser treatments to medical-grade skincare products and today's most innovative procedures, we've got you covered. And right now, you can save on great products and procedures, including $40 off Juvo. Plus, save $150 off Cool Sculpting. Call Advanced Dermatology and Skincare Center or schedule online at advanceddermclinic.com.
Senator Katie Britt knows Alabama deserves an America First fighter in Washington to help President Trump. That's why she's endorsed Rhett Marcus for Congress.
He is the America First warrior that President Trump and that I need to get the job done.
Rhett Marcus has been fighting for Alabama families. When paychecks were shrinking, Rhett fought back, slashing grocery taxes, killing the diaper tax, and standing up to protect every unborn child. Rhett Marcus, Trump tough, Alabama first, taking dead aim at the rising prices, crushing Alabama families, and delivering results. That's why Senator Katie Britt said,
We need someone that is willing to fight and willing to actually get things done, and that's Rhett.
Paid for by Alabama Christian Conservatives and not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. AlabamaChristians.com. Alabama Christian Conservatives are responsible for the content of this advertising.
All right, folks. As we approach Liberty Island, you'll see the iconic Statue of Liberty, standing tall at over 300 feet. The torch in her hand symbolizes a beacon of hope that's held up by her very wavy arm.
If you have geographic atrophy, or GA, subtle changes in vision could mean it's progressing toward irreversible vision loss. Izervay, or avacincaptad pegol, is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. It's proven to slow GA progression and could preserve your remaining vision for longer, so you can keep seeing the world around you. Don't take Izervay if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't wait for your vision changes to progress. Ask your retina specialist about Izervay today. To learn more, call 1-855-IZERVAY or go to izervay.com. Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
Uncle Henry here with Don Williams of American Flooring Cabinets and Granite. Don, what is your company all about?
Well, we're about remodeling homes, doing the cabinets, the granite, the floor covering, the custom showers, and the backsplashes. We're the only company in town that can do all of it under one roof and save you a lot of money.
American Flooring Cabinets and Granite with locations in Foley, Pensacola, and Mobile. Elevate your space all in one place at American Flooring Cabinets and Granite.
For more information about contests on this station, go to newsradio710.com/rules.
We'll have mostly clear skies tonight with cool temperatures. Overnight lows around 60 degrees with light winds. Tomorrow, sunshine returns on your Friday with comfortable weather. We'll have a daytime high in the low 80s with low humidity in the afternoon. I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith for this iHeartRadio station.
This report is sponsored by The Rogue Recap with Linda McLaughlin.
Dangerous social media trends, media scandals, dumb TikTok boycotts, and more. Keep up with all the online stories mainstream media ignores by listening to the Brad vs. Everyone podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Your one stop for advertising? Call 844-844-iHeart.
Available everywhere with the iHeartRadio app. Now #1 for podcasting. This is News Radio 710, WNTN, an iHeartRadio station.
Uncle Henry's Show. News headlines coming up in 10 minutes. We have our final segment here with Red from Red and the Revelers. New album, Real Big Deal, coming out tomorrow. Well, the vinyl release is tomorrow at Soul Kitchen. Now, people can see you on Studio 10 tomorrow. When are you going to be on Studio 10?
So, you can tune in to 92 Zoo in the morning. I'll be there about 7:30 in the morning, and then we'll be in the 9 o'clock hour on Studio 10.
Okay.
I think Mr. John Hall's coming with me, and we'll be on there talking about the show and talking about the album and just, generally promoting.
Okay, so tomorrow morning in the 9 o'clock hour, you can see Red on Studio 10. And then tomorrow night, you can go to the concert with the doors opening, I think, at 7,
That's
and
right.
the music starting at 8.
At 8, yes. And if you buy the tickets online, they're $10 plus fees, but at the door, they're going to be $15.
Okay.
It is an all-ages show, so anybody can come, but if you're under 18, if a parent brings you under 18, and you got to be with a parent if you're under 18.
Yeah, you got to be at Soul Kitchen.
You can't just come up if you're 17 and get in. But you'll have to pay a $5 extra surcharge for anybody under 18. But it is an all ages show, and we are family friendly. We don't get out of control or anything like that. So
thank the Lord.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. All right, SoulKitchenMobile.com to get your ticket in advance. SoulKitchenMobile.com. Now, I asked you to praise some people that when you start out, you said that Abe Partridge helped.
Mm-hmm.
You said that Eric Erdman offered advice as well.
Mm-hmm.
Are there some venues that you'd like to praise? What are some venues locally that you've enjoyed playing at that were great to you?
I would say one of the main ones is the Merry Widow. Chris Schwall owns it over there,
Yes.
the Merry Widow.
Yes.
I love the Merry Widow. During COVID, they were really helpful to us. And he's really just always, if I wanted a show, he's given me one and really believed in us, because, I'm trying to go from the just playing at bars to more so like having ticketed events and stuff. And other than that, Brickyard's been super important to us. Noel has been awesome. We played there one time, and then he just let me pick whatever dates I want after that. And of course, that's where we, Collective Soul found us. And but in Mobile, also Cedar Street Social Club was real important to us. That's where we had our first single release party in 2019, that April 20th show when we released our first single. And it was us and Simone French and Abe Partridge and the Red Clay Strays, and then Abe's punk band. He did the Psychedelic Peacocks, which he did with some of the Red Clay Strays. So it was a awesome show. So that and Callahan's I think are the 4 biggest ones to me, and then of course Soul Kitchen.
Yes.
But this is our first time headlining Soul Kitchen. We've only played with with 92 Zoo, like Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
And with like a fundraiser thing with the Strays, we played there one time. So this will be like headlining. Of course, I love all these big venues.
Of course. Now, what kind of music town is Mobile? How would you describe the Mobile music scene to somebody that's just arrived in Mobile?
It's probably one of the best scenes in the country right now. I travel a lot, and I talk to all my other people that travel. Mobile has so much potential right now, and it's producing. There's so many people in Mobile that are producing such a high level of music that it feels like an honor to be considered at the top, one of the top of that. But, there's so many people in Mobile. There's so much opportunity. People don't realize that across the bay, there are gold and platinum records on walls over there of retired people that don't realize that these people are even here. And there's this wealth of knowledge and accessibility in Mobile that does not exist in other places. And I encourage every musician I know, I'm like, y'all need to move to Mobile.
Really? That good of a scene?
Mobile is going, I feel, in the next 10 to 15 years could be like the next city where musicians come to make music. You had San Francisco in the 60s that created that flower child sound. And I think that like with the Red Clay Strays blowing up and they haven't moved, they're still here, us getting bigger and Abe and them getting Eric and all them, I think that it's on this verge of it could become like this this sound. Like it could be known for that Mobile sound could become a thing. And I just feel like if we all work together, that we can create that here.
And Mobile, if you love live music, you can go. You can see great talent just about every night of the week in this town.
And in this area, the Gulf Coast is one of the highest paid areas for musicians in the country. And I don't see how other musicians are making it in some other parts of the country, but down here, you know, even if you're just a working musician, you can make a living playing every single night of the week. There's plenty of places to play. It's a live music culture. People expect it. You know, when they go out, they want to go see music, and that's what I love about Mobile.
All right, we are just about out of time. Red of Red and the Revelers, the album release party is tomorrow night at Soul Kitchen for the new Red and the Revelers album, Real Big Deal. Get your tickets at soulkitchenmobile.com. If you've been unfamiliar with their music, go find them on Spotify and on YouTube. I wish you great success with this album.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, and Red, thank you for being on the Uncle Henry Show.
Yeah.